Good evening, racing fans, and welcome to yet another broadcast of KVK Racing Network. My name is Pim Lutz, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday Night Skippy League, here at the Circuit of the Americas, where we have our first Formula 2 race, and after that we will tune in for some more Skippy madness in our Formula 1 race. But for now, first Formula 2. And of course, I don't do this by myself, but I have our commentator, Peter Lee, here as well. Peter, welcome yet to another race. I know that you have driven this track. Could you describe what do you feel about this track?
Oh, I think this is just a fantastic racetrack for these skippies. It helps that we're on a shorter configuration, the West Circuit, so that's maybe around 3/5 or 2/3 of the full Circuit of the Americas or COTA. It's a wide track, obviously to Formula One standards. But it has a little bit of everything for these skippies. There's draft, there's hills, steep hills up and down, roller coaster like S's, hairpins, double apex hairpins, fast sweepers. There's even a quadruple apex sweeper for these skippies. And so there's just a little bit of everything that just really, I think, is going to make for some great racing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. We're driving along with Jake Ashe on the moment. Let's see how his times are currently. He's running on that 7th position.
He is. Jake is just going through one of the hairpins, which goes immediately into a second hairpin. This is the turn 13 hairpin. As he comes around here, this is this really fast and beautiful left-hand sweeper, really 4 apexes. 1, and then 2, 3, and then 4. And, it is just a thrill to go around that corner in these cars. And then you come around turn 16, Jake did very well there, very, very dangerous turn. And then you brake super hard here for this final turn 17, super important, because then you enter onto the front straight, which is just one of the most majestic front straights I think of any racetrack, where you just go up this wide, steep uphill and look for lots of 2 wide, maybe even 3 wide action as they brake all the way down to first gear for this turn 1 hairpin. As they come around here, the turn 2, 3, 4, 5 S's, incredible roller coaster ride down the hill through these S's. Don't hit these big sausage curves; they'll just break your car or cause you to spin. And then this is coming up on turn 6, the left-hander. This is where we cut off to the shorter configuration, the West configuration. Oh! And I was just about to say, you don't want to go too wide onto the grass because you will lose the car, just as we've seen Jake do right there.
All right, let's see if we can pick up some other drivers, or are we finished, actually? That could also be.
No, we still have 2 minutes left. And we have right now Alex Othan as the provisional pole sitter, with Chris Daniel hot on his tail, Rusty Pottenberg, and Dan Pagowski. Those are your top 4 provisional time setters right now. And we appear to have still 2 minutes left, and so Alex Othan and Melody Chance, I believe, can cross the start-finish line to complete one more lap if they hurry.
I do see that Alex Othan just improved his time. He comes to a 1:45.8. Currently takes that first position. So let's see if there's anyone out there who can actually improve that. We still have Rusty Pontenberg over here, taking full advantage of the draft of Chris Daniel. And Chris Daniel grabs the position, 1:45.6. Is Rusty going over that? No, Rusty doesn't go over that. That's going to be a 3rd position for him. We have still Joe Zuo coming over the line right now. But I don't think he's going to improve up here. I think the last one who can improve is Nate Strules, running at 6th position. But it seems that they're all running out of fuel up here.
Right. In fact, I think now they've all run out of laps. And so it's a 10-minute qualifying session, but also limited to 4 flying laps. And I believe they've all completed their qualifying now.
All right, so that was our qualification. It's always very interesting to see in the Formula 2 that they do that all together. You can definitely have some draft or anything else in that matter.
That's right.
And, all right, so this is always the moment in SF2 where we're like, okay, are they finished? Are they really finished? And it seems that they are finished.
Yes, some of these drivers are still out on track, still trying to uncover more of the secrets of this track, and there are secrets. One of the things about COTA is on the iRacing service is it has this new generation off-track penalty system, and so there's millimeter precision on where and when you are given either a time penalty or a 1x instant penalty for an off track, and so it takes quite a bit of time to understand exactly where on the track.
All right, Peter, we do have the results. Chris Daniel on the first position, Alex Alton right behind there, and Rusty Pontenberg on the third position. After that, Joey Zubo, Nate Strules, I see. So looks like they are all ready to go.
Yeah, Dan Pegowski, I see, has qualified in fifth, just ahead of Nate Strules. Then we have Melody Chance, Kurt Smith, Jake Ashe, Justin Diven, Christopher Guzzi, newcomer to Skippy Formula 2, David Brenner, and Lauren Sabiston, another newcomer to Skippy Formula 2. Great to see some new faces here.
Yeah, this is why this Sunday Night Skippy is here, and I'm glad to say that we were part of this Formula 2 race. We know how much fun it is, and it looks like they're all ready for the race.
Now, one of the things about this track is at the end of this front straight, going into turn 1, it's an incredibly wide entry. There must be room for 4 or 5 Skippies wide to enter into turn 1. There's of course one fast line, but given the draft-heavy nature of this car, as they come into turn 1, I expect to see a lot of side-by-side action, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens as they get started here.
Well, let's see over here. The lights are off, and we're ready to go. And immediately, Chris Daniel takes that first position, overholds that first position. Alex Alton is looking there, and I also see Rusty Pontenberg. So that will be interesting. And Rusty Pontenberg gets hit by Joe Zubo. Oh, and then we see some cars going around. That looked like a big mess over there.
Yeah.
I think Joe Zubo is still upside down. Well, I don't want to be in the shoes of the stewards, but this is looking quite serious. A lot of people were involved in that.
Yep, yeah, and it's not a surprise. And in the public sessions also, we've just seen a lot of turn 1 incidents, especially in these early race laps. And then as they come through later in the S's, you'll see this also in the first couple of laps. But we do have the first 2 qualifiers, Chris Daniel and Alex Othon, who've gotten away cleanly and are actually already starting to pull out a lead over Nate Strules and Kurt Smith.
Yeah, a lead of 2.3 seconds, and that's quite a lot. I do see quite some cars behind them that are still fighting. But Chris Daniel and Alex Alton know how to make a nice fight. I'm curious what they're going to do. Is this going to be the same tactic as before, just taking it easy?
I don't know. Here, there is a very strong draft effect. This is reminds me a little bit of the long uphill straight at Watkins Glen. And you know how strong the draft is at that track with these Skippy Formula 2000 cars, and I would expect the same thing here.
That's a beautiful first corner there, uphill where you go and then make that corner. Who was it, Raikkonen and Alonso that had a big fight over there?
Yeah,
in the Formula 1 race?
This battle for P3 between Nate Strules and Kurt Smith is already heated up. So it looks like.
Oh, and while you say that, Kurt Smith took that deadly exit.
Yeah.
That is costing him quite a bit. I think he's actually out. He goes back to the pit.
Yeah, I've hit that curb and it just breaks the axle of these cars. You have to be so careful there.
But let's have a quick look what happened in that first corner with Rusty Pontenberg. Because Rusty was driving there really nicely. And then you first see Joe Zuo going in over there. He turns the rest of the field. And then all we saw in the back also something happening. Let's have a quick look if we can see that as well. We have a great overview. Oh, there were a lot of people involved in the back of that accident.
Yeah, boy. A real concertina effect there.
Yeah, and that also means that immediately Jake Ashe moved up a little bit to the 4th position. Is now nearly 5 seconds away from Alex Alton. First needs to catch up with Nate Strules.
Yeah, one thing I'm seeing just watching Chris Daniel and Alex Othon up front, Chris Daniel appears to get such a great exit out of turn 17, the final corner coming onto the front straight, and that's allowing him to keep the lead over Alex Othon, even though there's a pretty strong draft effect there.
Jake Ashe has now more danger coming up from Dan Pagowski, who is driving right behind him.
Yeah, as they go through this roller coaster of these S's, turns 2 through 5. And looks like Jake hit the grass on the exit of turn 6.
I do have to say the lucky thing of Jake Ashe is that he keeps his car clean over there. Yeah. If he can turn it, but he needs to wait over there. You see that there are other people coming. He does that really nicely, and everybody has now passed him.
Yeah, I was noticing in my laps, that exit of turn 6, that's not a normal, that's the cutoff from the full course, and it's not quite as rubbered in as the rest of the corners on this track, and so it's slicker than you would expect.
So suddenly we see Dan Pagowski on the 3rd position. Melody Chance is also moved up to the 5th position. And is now actually quite close to Dan Pagowski. Could get there in the draft, and that could be interesting.
I think Dan Pagowski probably lifted when he saw Jake go sideways there, and that's given Melody a chance to get up, and I believe she is in Dan Pagowski's draft just about.
Yeah, it's getting really close, and here you could use that draft on that straight. Getting all the way over there, and we do see Justin Divin already pitting. I'm not sure if he has damage. Have a quick look at his car. It doesn't look like it. It does look like this is a strategic move. So on the 8th position, and we see also Christopher Guzzi coming in.
Yeah, the pit window is just open now. For our viewers, first-time viewers of this Skippy Formula 2 race, the fuel is limited. Fuel loads are limited, so drivers will have to make 2 pit stops for refueling.
Well, and I do think this is going to be the last season for Chris Daniel and Alex Alton, because look at this, they're really running away from the rest of the field. I do think that Alex Alton, normally in that lead, has difficulty to actually catch up with Chris Daniel. Chris Daniel's really making a big mock, sliding over here. Great to see him doing that.
Yeah.
Here, I think Alex Alton went off track. So what's this track and off tracks?
Well, it's set up so that some of these off tracks are just simple 1x incident penalties, but there are a surprising number that actually are slowdowns. It's I find some of the off-track slowdown penalties at this track, just like at Red Bull Ring, overly harsh. It is very precise and very fairly applied. You just have
all right, and I moved over to the fight with Melody Chance and Dan Pagowski, because he's really going hard in there. And then immediately Rusty Pontenberg, look at this. All 3 of them are now moving over here.
Oh,
this could be an interesting turn 1.
And we should see this close up here. In fact, Melody should be able to close up some gap coming up the steep hill into turn 1. Wow, and now it's down the roller coaster through these S's. There are sections of these S's that don't look or feel like they could be full throttle, but they are. And then as you come around, you brake, downshift to 3rd, and now this incredibly slick turn 6 as we do the cutoff for the west configuration. As they come down this little straight, it's a hard brake to get down the first gear, all downhill, and you're just struggling for braking power. And now you have this really lovely double apex hairpin, one apex and then second. It's sort of a wide hairpin, and then a second hairpin as you come around to the left. Very awkward turn here.
Yeah, and you do see that Rusty has a different line and he's trying to attack over here. Is that gonna work? He is driving a different line than Melody.
Yeah. That's
and I see Alex Alton going into the pit. Alex Alton already into the pit. Interesting move, and we see that Melody is sliding over there.
Yeah. Looks like Rusty's going to take the inside line away, and now it'll be interesting to see if Melody can get a better run coming out and reclaim that position at the end of the straight. So Alex Alton may be attempting an undercut here.
Well, attempting an undercut. This is definitely an undercut for my part, but he's standing still for a very long time. Let's have a quick look where he's coming out. He's going after Joe Zubo because he's passing him right now. So who went to pit? Have a quick look. We see Jake Ashe didn't pit. Had that incident, but didn't pit yet. Alex Alton is the first one to pit. And also Justin Diven, don't forget him. He went in really early, but maybe that's the trick that you need to do over here.
Yeah, my score sheet is also showing that Christopher Guzzi, Kurt Smith, David Brenner, and Lawrence Sabiston also have had pit stops, although it's not clear who has done that for damage repair and who has done that for refueling.
And we do drive along here with Chris Daniel. I've seen a couple of people going in, so note that there's that option. And I'm very curious, while other people are going into the pit, we see David Brenner, our good oval guy here in the skips, going into the pit. And that means that for Chris Daniel it's just not possible. He needs to go on his own when there's lots of room. And then you see Nate Struels on the position behind him on the second. And there you see Daniel Pagowski and Rusty Pontenberg already coming.
Yeah, it does look like Rusty Pontenberg has managed to get past Melody Chance. But that's still a 3-car battle for P4 right now, or P3, currently being led by Dan Pagowski.
Yeah, I hope that Melody Chance gets a chance to hang on to Rusty. We know Rusty is very quick, and he got to be tired. Every time when we broadcast, we see Rusty. What's this all about?
Well, and in fact, that's true for David Brenner and Lawrence Sabiston. We saw them racing in Cup cars this morning, and here they are in the evening racing in Skippy Formula 2000 cars. Boy, this battle, it's Rusty Pontenberg is really applying the pressure right now in these in turn 11, 12, 13 hairpins, and Dan Pagowski's got to be really feeling the heat right now.
Oh, and look at this, and while you say that, Dan Pagowski goes wide, and immediately, but this is the difficulty part. Dan Pagowski can hold that one line over there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting part for maybe a little bit of stewarding. Is that allowed? But this gives also Melody Chance a chance to come back.
And this is really, this final turn 17, really where you want to try to set up a good run down this straight.
Well, you're asking for a good run. Currently, we do get a good run, but Rusty can't pass him over here. Let's go a little bit in the back because I think they're fine fighting with each other. We see Justin Divin finding hard with Joe Zubo in the front.
Oh yeah, this is the battle for P8, and it looked like Justin Divin was really closing up the gap, but now in this back part of the course, it looks like Joe Zubo maybe gains a little bit of an advantage, and so we'll have to see if Justin Divin kind of regains form and closes the gap again in the early part of this track here.
Yeah, and then we're not done yet. We see in the back over there Kurt Smith with Christopher Cozy also fighting. Christopher Cozy has found his rhythm a little bit, is more comfortable on this track. You see his track counts improve. And I think he's going to make it a difficult job for Kurt Smith.
Yeah, in fact, he is definitely looking at this. And Christopher Cozy does seem to be closing that gap, and so if he can keep that up, he'll be right on his gearbox within a lap or two.
Yeah, I think the closest battle, while we say that, Chris Daniel goes into the pit. Let's have a quick look how he does that. Always interesting to see.
Just to see when Chris comes out, how he comes out relative to Alex Othon, who's right now going through turn 16. Looks like Nate Struhls and Dan Pagowski, Rusty Pontenberg, Melody Chance all in the pits as well. Meanwhile, Alex Othon is coming down the front straight. Chris Daniel has been released from his pit box. It's going to be close. Very close.
Yeah, and he has that inside line, but Alex Othon, look at that. So that undercut does work.
Yes, it certainly does.
And with a little bit of off track, you can come pretty far, I have to say. That is a little bit defending the corner a la Max Verstappen style.
Yes.
But he did make it over there. Again, interesting for the stewards to decide what's happening over there. Chris Daniel has to forget about that and just drive along with them over here.
Mm.
Look at this, interesting fight. We know Chris Daniel has done it again. He can make that move. And also in the back over there, Rusty Pontenberg is really close to Daniel Pagowski on that 4th position.
And right, and Melody Chance has just closed up too. These three, you could throw a blanket over the three of them.
Yeah, here they come.
Now again, for people who haven't followed the Skippy Formula 2 series here, these drivers will have to make 2 stops for fuel. And so all this pit strategy, it just persists through the entire 35 minutes of the race just because of the fuel limitations.
And we do see up here that Melody Chase is coming really, really close.
Yeah. Yeah, every time Melody Chance closes the gap on Rusty Pontenberg, it looks like Rusty maybe loses a little focus on Dan Pagowski, or maybe takes a little more of a defensive line, and that gives Dan Pagowski a chance to stretch a lead a little bit.
And while you say that, suddenly it goes different, and suddenly Rusty takes a big move over here. He's really closing in right now for Dan Pagowski. So I think it is also a couple of corners where Rusty is really making those moves.
Boy, this braking this entry, you're in 5th gear going up that hill, and then you're braking and getting all the way down to 1st gear, and it's there's just so many different ways to enter that turn 1. It's got to be pretty nerve-wracking when you're in this kind of close traffic. Pim, when we watch Skippy Formula One race later tonight, it's going to be quite a spectacle to see all those cars go through that turn one.
Yeah, it's already fun watching 3 of them go. What do you think about having 35 of them go over there? But this is a really close fight.
Yeah, Tim,
we're only halfway through.
Yeah, I think what you said before, I think is right. Each of these drivers is just, they have their corners where they're a little faster than the other two, and each one is a little bit different.
Although I do see now that Rusty Pontemerk is really closing in on Daniel, and I know that in the last bit he's a lot quicker. So this could be the moment where he says, you know what, I'm gonna take advantage of this. And while I say that, I do see that Alex Alton is taking a 2.3 lead. We'd love to go there right now because I think something happened with Chris Daniel. But I want to see first what Rusty is doing over here. Look at this. Rusty is taking a complete different line. And he's already on the side.
We have a drag race going down the front straight. And I think Melody is going to be just happy to watch what happens here.
Yeah, Melody is right behind there. And we do see that inside line. And Rusty is going really deep inside of it. All right, so let's go back to what happened with Chris Daniel, because he was driving quite fast over there. And and he lost it. Whoa! He lost it big times. Wow, nice save of him. And that's why it's only 2.3 seconds over there. And already it's 1.9 seconds, so he is moving very quickly towards Alex Alton right now.
Boy, Chris was very fortunate not to have that come out first.
Yeah, but at one point you also, I've seen that with Bridges, Sammy Bridges. He's also the king of savement. And look at this, Melody Charles is also doing that. He's always very safe in saving the car.
Yeah.
A lot of practice with that.
Yep. Yeah, sort of the Tokyo Drift school of Skippy driving.
Yeah, and let's have a quick look at how Rusty Pontemerk was overtaking Daniel Pogowski there. He's really on that stretch. And then it's that inside line that he takes over there. Nice move of him.
Yes, yeah, beautiful move. He really just took a huge amount of curb at that turn 17 that really gave him a real chance to go inside and get a good
look at
run.
that. Daniel has an issue with that last corner because now it's Melody that goes past over there really quickly.
She made the same move on Daniel that Rusty had.
It was 100% same move, same things. And Daniel should think about him. What's going on over here? And you see Joe Zumo in the backup. While we say that, Justin Divin, remember that, is already done for his second pit stop.
Yes.
So Kurt Smith is already in for the second pit stop and David Brenner, but I think both of them had a lot of damage. So that's probably not really counted for this. We're 20 minutes away. I think Justin Divin could make a move.
Indeed. Well, just looking up ahead, Rusty Pontemerk is now pulling out a little bit more of a comfortable lead on Melody Chance. Looks like going about 1.8 or 2 seconds. I want to go back to Alex Alton and Chris Daniel, because Chris Daniel has moved up all the way back to second position on 0.8 tenth, and he's going back in. Look at that, he's going in for the pit strategy. So now the tables have turned. Earlier it was Alex Alton who did the undercut on Chris Daniel, and now it looks like Chris Daniel is going to try to do the undercut on Alex Alton.
Yeah, and we both know it worked. It was working, so that's going to be an interesting strategy to see that. Let's have a quick look at Alex. This does found a back marker over there. Who's that back marker? Is that Lauren Sebastian? Sebastian?
No, I think that's Kurt Smith.
Have a quick look if I can see. Kurt Smith is driving over there. So it's not a bad move from Chris Daniel to go in.
Yep. So Chris is now out of the pits, and he's come out ahead of Rusty Pondberg and behind Nate Strules. Meanwhile, Alex Othon is closing up very quickly to Kurt Smith, but it looks like Kurt is going to run wide and facilitate a pass.
I don't know what happened. We just saw some steam while looking at Dan Pagowski, who's hunting Melody down. And Joe Zubo is also not finished. 1.3 seconds. It's really closing in right now. He could also go into that 5-4-6 position. Look at this, look at this. Oh, nice move of Melody. He makes that move really quickly. David Brenner can't do much over there. As holding, lets them go by over here. Needs to let Joe Zubo go by. Does that really well.
Yes.
And Joe Zubo has a little bit of an advantage of that one. He's now really coming in. And while I say that, Alex Alton is in the pit.
And so now we'll want to see as he comes out, how he comes out relative to Chris Daniel, who's just gotten past turn 16, approaching turn 17 and onto the front straight. It's looking very good for Chris Daniel here.
Yeah, Chris Daniel is already on that straight and has a little bit of advantage for the people in front of him. I see that Nate Strules
from this pit box.
Yeah, Nate Strules is now taking the lead. And Chris Daniel is making this really nicely work. Look at that.
I don't know if any Skippy Formula One drivers are watching this broadcast, but they might want to take note that the undercut seems very strong at this track.
Yeah, this is an amazing move of Chris Daniel. This is like a roller coaster, this race for him, but currently he's doing really well.
Indeed.
But does he get hold up now by Nate Strules? Nate Strules still needs to go to the pit. No, he doesn't. He already makes that move really nicely over here.
Yeah, so as they come through now, this hairpin section, it's looking very, very good. There's nothing but clear track ahead for Chris Daniel. We're now under 10 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, Chris Daniel is now 1 second from Nate Strules, and behind there we have Alex Alton. I think that is really 3 seconds that Chris Daniel gained in that pit stop. Maybe we
Kurt
can
Smith
have
in the pits now. You know, Pim, this battle between Chris Daniel and Alex Othon is a little bit like the battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. You know, Alex and Chris are 1 and 2 for the season standings. I think only 7 or 8 points separating them.
Yeah, and if I look at the timetables, then I see in pit lane is Chris Daniel 9.1 seconds and Alex Alton 12.7. So I think Chris Daniel is then the Red Bull of our guys. He had a really fast pit stop.
Now this is, even though this is a shorter configuration, the West configuration of Circuit of the Americas, it is, a relatively big track still, 2.6 miles for these Skippy Formula 2000 cars. And so, if you misjudge, if you're off by a little bit on how much fuel you take on, you could be in trouble. But
yeah, we do see over here that Joe Zubo is not taking Rusty Pontenberg. He's going ahead of there. And that's nice to see. Rusty Pontenberg is still ahead of Dan Pagowski. So that didn't work, and now we have Melody. Melody is still running on that first pit stop. So I expect that she's going to come in very soon.
Yeah, and then, it'll be interesting to see how she comes out relative to Dan Pagowski and Joe Zubo. Boy, Dan Pagowski has not had a moment to rest or relax this entire way. Yeah, he's been in traffic, either chasing someone or being chased, really, this entire race.
Yeah, now he is chasing, but I think Joe Zubo has found a little bit of room, and we're coming again to that last corner, and that's really where everybody is gaining a little bit on Nate Strules. And why I say that, on Dan Pagowski, and I see Nate Strules, Melody Chance, Jake Ashe all going into the pit. Look at that, Jake Ashe already on that 5th position. Curious how he's going to do after the pit stops. Look at here, we're driving along with Joe Zubo. Is he now also taking a move? No, Dan Pagowski has learned how to take that corner.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Melody Chance, she's been released from her pit box. As Rusty Punberg, Dan Pagowski, and Joe Zubo come up the hill.
And she is still ahead, but she doesn't have the speed yet. I'm curious how that's going to look in the corner. It looks really good in the corner. Oh! Rusty Pontenberg gets hit in the back. Nah, that was very, very closely. And now we see that... that was a 3-wide action over here. I don't think that was intended.
Boy.
That was very, very close. Melody made that move. I thought she made it stick, and then she didn't. Let's have a quick look at how that looked from her perspective. So we drive along over here. She comes out of that pit box. She's looking over there. She sees him, and then she just barely hits him. And then it's really strange because he has that outside.
Yeah.
But then, then we have Dan Pagowski coming back onto the track.
Yep, right at that apex, you're kind of cresting the hill, and the car can get a little light, and look like Melody might have pushed wide just a little bit. Maybe Rusty being a little too optimistic and how hard he turned in. As you were saying before, Pim, stewards might have some work to do this week.
They do. But on the other hand, up here, she's back on the back of Joe Zubo, so it can't be that bad what happened. Yeah. And together they can go back to Dan Pagowski. He's only 1 second away, and they're all in draft. Even Rusty Pontenberg can come back, and Jake Ashe right behind there. We still have 6 more minutes.
Yeah.
If you have the speed, use it right now. And that's exactly what Chris Daniel is doing, because he's running away from Alex Olton. Can't beat him over here. Look at that, 3 seconds away.
Yeah, Chris Daniel's just looking strong and steady right here. And yeah, you're right. It's more than a 3-second lead now. And so we then have Nate Strules also just running a very strong race and running a very strong P3. Really no traffic around him. And so the real battles are for P4 on back. With Dan Pagowski being pressured by Joe Zubo and Melody Chance catching up to them.
Yeah, I think I'm curious to see if they can do something, because currently they keep on driving together, and Joe Zubo is not looking to make that effort, because he knows if he doesn't do it, then Melody is going to take over, and Rusty immediately is going to be there.
Yeah. Well, and don't forget about Jake Ashe. Jake is also, I believe, closing up time to Rusty Pontenberg. So this could be a 5-car battle before we know it.
I'm rooting for Jake Ashe. I'm always rooting for Jake Ashe, but he doesn't have much luck in this Formula 2 races. Last race, he was in the top 15 of Formula 1, so that was a big success for him. But here he has some troubles. Yeah.
Well, like I was saying before, especially on cold tires, I was finding that turn 6 to be surprisingly treacherous. And it doesn't look like much, but somehow it's so easy to go a little bit wide, and then if you just get a little off track. Oh, it looks like Joe Zubo stuck his nose in on the inside of turn 1 on Dan Pagowski, and then just backed out at the last minute.
Yeah, he has seen enough incidents for today. Need to be a little bit more careful. Joe, we know that he always has a lot of fun. If you ever want to see Joe driving, I think he's streaming on Twitch with Wild Drivers. Oh, and we do see that Daniel takes that exit a little bit too much. And I do see smoke coming out of his car. Is that making That's making a move for Joe Zubo, and immediately, whoa! Look at that, we have 4 cars now driving for that position.
Daniel Pagowski and Rusty Pontenberg all getting past Daniel Pagowski, and wow.
Yeah, so Dan is going out over there. I'm not sure how his car is doing, but Joe Zubo has now the full attention.
There might be a mechanical or a fuel issue with Dan Pagowski's car. Something is not right there. Now, because Jake Ashe is now past Dan Pagowski.
Yeah, we're driving along, and it seems that he can't make those turns anymore. Too bad for Dan, who was driving so well in those corners. Has to give up over here.
I wonder if he bent a wheel or something on one of the sausage curbs in the S's. Something not right for sure.
No, that's definitely something that we're going to talk about in the Discord. We do see Chris Daniel here jumping the curbs, making a move, but I do see that Alex Alton is coming a bit closer, 2.9 seconds. And then we have that major gap between everybody else and those 2 guys, Nate Strules.
Meanwhile, back looks like Rusty Pontenberg's taking inside line on Melody Chance, and Joe Zubo manages to get past Melody, but Melody defends, reclaims the position on the exit of turn 1.
And this is so great. They had an incident before right over there, and they still are making the same moves over there. I'm not afraid. Know that everybody's trying to keep it tight. And Jake,
see, Dan Pagowski is in the pits, presumably for fast repair. So whatever damage happened, it must have been hitting one of these big yellow sausage curbs.
All right, look at this. Rusty Pontenberg knows that we're nearly getting to the end, and he's getting now really tight in there. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, this is the white lap.
Yep, Chris Daniel and Alex Alton have gotten the white flag, so last lap.
So we can go back to the interesting fight over here with Melody, Rusty Pontenberg, and Jake Ashe is also not done yet. He's right behind there. But Rusty needs to do something. Rusty Pontenberg is looking everywhere. Come on.
And Jake Ashe is continuing to close up, although he may be out of laps to do something here.
Yeah, this is really the fight that we're going for. And look at this. This is what I mean. Melody is just going sideways through that corner, and she still keeps it safe. Not much damage. Oh, and here Rusty has a good exit. This could be important, but I don't think he has enough. Doesn't look like they have enough.
It looked like Rusty maybe slid a little bit on the exit, and that's allowed Melody to get the little bit of a better run. Oh, and she's coming. Oh, she was sticking her nose
yeah. She knows that worked. So that was an interesting move over there, but Joe Zubo holds it all together, and he's still on that 4th position. It's even not on the podium. Look at that! Whoa, Rusty Pontenberg is really going wide.
Melody Chance also, both. And Jake Ashe is now cut right up on the gearbox of Rusty Pontenberg, going side by side through turn 9.
Look at that, Jake Ashe and Rusty Pontenberg were this morning already in the race. Didn't fight over there, but here they make a move, and Jake Ashe makes that move. And oh, that's a nice save from him. Let's have a quick look as Chris Daniel over the line over here. Great move. And then we see Alex Alton coming over the line.
Melody Chance in the turn 11 hairpin slid out wide. In fact, I believe her car may be broken. It may have bent something also, just like Dan Pagowski's car.
But she is still driving, and
but her car looks severely damaged. I believe, again, those yellow sausage curbs.
Yeah, now we do see that Nate Strolls is here going for the podium. Congratulations for him. Just new over here. And look at that, already on the podium. 40 seconds behind Chris Daniel and Alex Alton. Great driving from him. Goes here over the finish line.
Oh, and Rusty Pontenberg in the last corner did get past Joe Zubo, I believe.
No, it's Joe Zubo that actually gets passed by Jake Ashe. He takes that... yeah. Okay, that was That was a
So
bit
Rusty,
weird. I don't exactly know what happened over there, but who
I believe
knows?
Rusty Pannenberg got past Joe Zubo, and then Jake Ashe closed in, but couldn't quite get Joe. So Rusty Pannenberg finishes fourth, Joe Zubo fifth, Jake Ashe sixth, and then Melody Chance with I believe, a broken axle, finishes in seventh.
Awesome. And then we have Justin Divin, of course. He's also on the 8th position. Dan Pagowski had lots of fights going on, is on that ninth position. Let's have a quick look if we can see the results as well. These are the unofficial results. We are not responsible for any data that's coming out of this. But currently our data says, as Chris Daniel, congratulations, you are the winner of this race. Great to see Lauren Savinson in this race. Christopher Guzzi, newcomer on that 11th spot. And of course Kerr Smith, 10th position. And I think that's our whole track.
Yeah,
Great.
and David Brenner also finishing on the lead lap. Really great to see him just improving. From an oval specialist, just you could just see improving week to week in these little Formula Road cars.
Yeah, I know that's great to have that over here. All right, so we're gonna go out for I think roughly around 7 minutes, and then we will be back for our Formula One race. So don't go away. We'll be back. Welcome back, racing fans, for yet another race here on our beautiful track. We're gonna run our Formula 1 race. Very looking forward to it. We've seen a crazy race going along. They're currently busy with the qualifications. I'll have a quick look if we can see already some times. I don't think anybody set the time yet. Is that correct, Peter?
That's right. We're here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, the shorter west configuration of 2.6 miles. And drivers are out qualifying, and most of them are on their first flying lap right now. You know, it's to the point that you made earlier, the Skippy Formula 2 race was crazy with the amount of action. And so with more than twice as many cars in the Skippy Formula 1 race, I think we're in for some pretty exciting action.
Yeah, and I was just checking, do I see it correctly? Do we have a number 21 driving up here?
It can't be, can it, Pim?
I don't think so. I don't think that guy was gone. It's a little bit like a James Hauser. Who's James Hauser? Well, James, we have another Jason Bice over here. Beautiful car, and he's running his first few laps. I haven't seen him much in the race. I know that he went to the practice race, which probably had so much fun for that he started up here.
Right. So he's just starting his second qualifying lap, and we can talk through the track with.
All right, let's do that. He's coming over the pit, over the finish line over here.
Yep. And as you come up this majestic front straight, going up this steep hill, braking all the way down to turn one. Look at how wide this entry into this turn one hairpin is. Watch for 2-3 wide action coming around there. And then you go sliding down these S's, 2, 3, 4, 5 S's. Watch out for these big yellow sausage curves. In Skippy Formula 2 race, we saw them break axles on these cars. And so it's just extremely treacherous. Shifting down to third gear as they come, and here's the cutoff for the short configuration, turn 6. Super slick turn. You try to straight line that chicane and go down this hill, braking all the way down again to first gear. As you turn 10, continue to go downhill. Now we have hairpins, a beautiful first hairpin, kind of a double apex left, apex 1, apex 2, and then a weirdly awkward left-hand hairpin, turn 13. You're kind of breaking off camber, and now a quadruple apex sweeping left with 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth apex. Just
all right,
flat out.
All right, so let's do a quick guess. What do you think? Where is he going to end up? Is it going to be a top 10 or is it going to be top 15?
Well, you know, you and I, Pim, have been racing pretty hard with Jason in GT3 cars.
He's fast. Okay, quick, you have to say something. You have to say something. He's going. I think he's going at top 5.
Oh,
top
wow.
5, whoa! He is going really, really fast.
That should not be legal, because he's just been so focused on GT3 cars, and he's got to be rusty in these.
Oh man, I was gonna say top 15 at least, but I do see also. I want to make a quick announcement for Leo Octarov, 143.9. We have seen him go even faster, so maybe we can drive along with him and see the differences from this track.
Well, Leo has just been setting the pace for this entire field, and you know, it's just crazy. And to be able to run in the 143s on cold tires, that's just not human. I mean, truly alien. And you know, the thing when you're riding along like we are right now with Leo Ovtcharov, it just looks so calm, serene. You know, there's no wiggle in the steering wheel. And if you actually ride in his cockpit, it also doesn't sound that dramatic.
No. But it all feels like it's planned. Like this corner, yeah, of course it was a bit of a sharp corner, but yeah, he plans everything out up here. Goes really close by, goes over these curbs.
Yeah.
Because these are the curbs that you can take.
Yeah. Turn 16 here, we did see in the Skippy Formula 2 race a number of incidents as they That's a surprisingly fast left, and then again a hard brake, and super, super important turn 17. We saw quite a few moves and passes going into turn 17.
Yeah, and here we go with Leo Oktarov. He was quicker in the first lap, and it looks like he's going quicker again. It's 1:43.8. Look at that, but immediately, whoa, Jeffrey Decker. 1:43.8. Oh, and now a lot of people are improving their times. I see Scott Bell in the top 10. Let's have a quick look if we can get the real times.
Well, in fact, we're seeing also Chris Herrera sitting provisionally in P3 at a 1:43.999.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. I will bet you that we're going to have great fun with these drivers. Last week you weren't here, but we saw some great fighting with Chris Herrera and Leo Oktarov and Jeffrey Decker and Mike Bowers and Michael McLeod. It was a big fun to see that. I'm curious what we'll see over here.
Yeah, it's well, this track I think is just great for Skip Barber racing. You know, it's wide. You do have a little bit of everything. You have heavy draft sections. You have wide fast sweepers that allow two wide situations, heavy braking. You know, it's a real test, and you know, it's wide and smooth enough that it just invites a lot of close-in kind of drag-out fights between these cars.
Yeah, I'm curious about Adam Wright currently. Still looking to see if he can compete his times. Currently on that 6th position with a 1:44.3. And he is improving himself.
Yeah, provisionally up to P4. I just got past Chris Herrera's time. We also have Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod, Pete Morbrodden sitting 6, 7, 8 provisionally. Gurkan Demir continues to just impress week after week, and he's sitting provisionally P10.
Yeah, and Scott Bell, you missed him on the 9th position. So, yes. Hey, great part.
Boy.
So,
and then our Skippy Formula 2 race winner, Chris Daniel, you have to think he's exhausted, but he managed to qualify. He's sitting now P12 right now.
Wow. Yeah, I do think that it's more suitable to have him up here. I'm really curious what he can do. He was a lot quicker. I think they won over like 30 seconds in the complete race. I don't think he's going to have that problem over here.
No. It does look like the qualifying session has just ended now.
Awesome.
So we have Leo Ovtcharov at pole, followed by Jeffrey Decker, Jeff Snavely, Adam Wright, Chris Herrera, Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod, Pete Morbrodden, Scott Bell, Gurkan Demir. That's your top 10. And then Peter Nodwell, Chris Daniel, JR Hoops, Carl Dronke, Jason Bice, Max DiGiacomo, Aaron Law, Chris Stewart, Andrew Cole, Gregor Klingman. That rounds out your top 20. And then finally we have Alan Perez, Brian Perez, Matt Shupka, Jeff Torbeck, Benjamin Harris, Jason Berkheimer, Dan Bogowski, Rustin Pottenberg, Jake Ashe, Steve Dewar, Chris Georgian-Dallas, and Joshua Dancy. And that's a field of 32 Skip Barber Formula 2000 cars.
Yeah, and while we talk over there, maybe it's also have a quick look on the scores. We also have the scores open for the Formula 1. Leo Oktarov has a lead over Jeffrey Decker and Mike Bowers. And then we see Adam Wright, Michael McLeod, Max DiGiacomo, Peter Notwell, Carl Dronke. Really all there to gain for. And what does that mean with those drop breaks? I know, Peter, you're fancy of those things. Right. What really happens?
Well, for the full race season of 12 races, and this is the 11th race, but at the end of the season, there are 3 races. The 3 lowest races for each driver are dropped. Right now, in these season standings that Pim that you just showed, they reflect 2 races dropped. And so after tonight's race, the season standings will reflect 3 races dropped as we go into our final season finale next week at Brands Hatch.
And then, of course, we also have our team standings in that. Let's have a quick look if I can find those. No, I actually can't find those.
We are just starting to see cars starting to grid up, but they are going still through the driver's briefing, which is a tradition in Sunday Night Skippy. And there are some things that are important. We did see an incident between a car coming out of the pits and a car coming down the front straight going into turn one. That will be very dangerous, and I suspect in this race, where we expect cars to take 2 pit stops for fuel, that we might see similar contention for that turn 1 apex.
It's weird. I see some people already gridding up, not everybody. It looks a little bit like there is a confusion going on.
Yeah. It does look like the driver's briefing has just concluded, and so cars are now starting to enter the grid, which means we're less than a minute away from the race start.
Yeah, we do see they're now all lining up over here. Adam Wright really looking forward what he can bring in this field. Mike Bowers really close over there, and Pete Broughton. Then of course Scott Bell, great looking car over there.
Now the thing to watch on this race start right away is can this field of 32 Skip Barber cars get through turn 1 safely? It's just one of these outrageously wide entries into a hairpin, and these cars will be just screaming up this hill full throttle and then going all the way down to first gear to negotiate this turn 1 hairpin.
All right, and the lights are going on, so we are ready. Are we ready for that first corner? Look at that. 32 skips moving along. We see Pete Broughton already moving to the inside. That's going to be the safest course. Wow, what a great view this is. And it seems that everything looks fine over there. Pete Broughton is taking a really nice move. A little bit more difficulty over here, but Peter, they all made it in first corner.
Yes, it's incredible. And now, as they go through these S's, this is like just going on ice on the cold tires. And watch out as Leo Oftroff and the field goes through that turn 6 cutoff for the west configuration. Another super slick corner.
Well, look at this. Pete Broughton is already looking on the inside of Michael McLeod. And the rest is really lining in over there. I see Chris Daniel. Chris Daniel, what is he doing over there? Oh, Carl Dronke is there taking that inside line. And Chris Daniel is dropping a couple of spots.
And as they come through this section of hairpins, we now have this really majestic, 4 apex right-hand sweeper. Now, we did see quite a few incidents in the Skippy Formula 2 race. Here, it turns 16 on cold tires, so that'll be the next test for these cars as they get their tires up to temperature.
I'm impressed by the driving over here.
It is really impressive. Looks like we do see quite a few cars coming up the hill, and Pete Broughton and Michael McLeod battling there for P7.
Look at that, Aaron La really making an inside move over there.
Well, I am just blown away that these cars are completing these first couple of laps this way and getting through these. It cannot be overstated just how treacherous these in traffic these first 2 laps are.
Look at this, and everybody is really close to each other. Can't really show one or the other. It's one big line of drivers. Although you do see a little bit of a gap with Carl Dronke.
Look like Chris Georgiandellis and Jake Ashe may have come together in turn 6 or 7. And Jason Bice in turn 10.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't look very nice. Although Chris made a move over there. What happened to Jason Bice then in that round?
Yeah, it looks like turn 10.
Oh, he spun out himself, and gets a little bit of a bump over there.
Oh,
yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. And so Jason Bice is being towed back to the pits, I believe.
Look at this, here we go, and we do see that Leo Oktarov and Jeffrey Decker have made a little bit of a move over here. They do have a little bit of a spot, and we see Jeff Snaley going out, and Adam Wright immediately making a progress on that one.
Yeah, Chris Herrera as well. And so we are seeing now Leo Oktarov and Jeffrey Decker pulling out a bit of a lead, but then there is this pack led by Adam Wright, Chris Herrera, Jeff Snavely, Mike Bowers, chasing them right behind, and then Michael McLeod still being hounded by Pete Mobrotten.
Yeah.
P7.
Yeah, I'm very curious how that looks for him, because I know there's always a lot of tension when Pete Mobrotten is behind you, because he does make some intelligent moves. But currently Michael McLeod is just looking forward to see if he can catch up with Mike Bowers, and he is doing that a little bit.
Well, it looked like Adam Wright had an issue coming out of the turn 13 hairpin, and that has allowed Chris Herrera to get past. As well as just Snavely and a number of others. Mike Bowers.
Yeah,
Michael
we see
McLeod.
Pete Mobrotten now having that in that fight over there, and Adam Wright is coming back. Look at this, Adam Wright on the inside, and that means Pete Mobrotten has just more speed. Look at that, takes more speed out of there. Nice move from Pete Mobrotten, but Adam Wright is not done yet, and Gurken de Meer right behind there as well.
Yeah, Gurken de Meer and Carl Dronke really closing in here. Boy, you can really see the Concertina effect as there's just this hard braking. You know, for that turn 1, you're just cresting the hill. There are 3 or 4 viable lines into turn 1, and you're going all the way down to first gear from 5th gear.
We see in the back that Gregor Klimman actually passed a couple of people. So he's moving up forward.
Dan Pikowski has gone into the pits, so he must be going through some repair. I don't believe the pit window is open yet.
No, that's going to be too early, although we do have 2 pit stops with this 45-minute race. So why not? It could be possible.
Yeah.
But on the moment, Jeffrey Decker and Leo Oktarov are running away, and it's really Chris Herrera who is trying to hold on.
I'm looking back at the battle for P12. Currently, JR Hoops is running P12, but Max DiGiacomo has really closed up the gap there and is applying more and more pressure. And then our Skippy Formula 2 race winner tonight, Chris Daniel, is just looking very racy and seems also to be closing up the gap to JR and Max.
He's doing quite nicely over here, but yeah, it's a little bit of different drivers than in Formula 2. But still 14th position, great job from him so far.
Yeah, we're seeing Max DiGiacomo get a great tow going up the hill, but probably not enough for him to make a move into turn 1. So he'll have to be patient.
Yeah, he is trying, but it's quite difficult to actually get there. And it's not possible over here as well, is it? Oh, it is. Look at that. Oh.
Yes. You just have to be exceptionally careful because, as we've seen, hitting those yellow sausage curbs can cause you to spin, or worse, break the axle in your car. And so it's just there's just a lot of risk there.
Now, while we say that, we see Chris Herrera here on that third position. He's driving along with Jeff Snavely, Mike Bowers, and Michael McLeod, a little bit on the back over there. But Michael McLeod keeps holding on and is defending quite hard against Pete Broughton.
You know, looking back at P20, there's quite the battle between Gregor Klingman, Brian Perez, Alan Paris. Rusty Pottenberg is starting to get into the mix. And they are applying all sorts of pressure on each other.
It's a nice battle, but it is also very good for Chris Daniel, because he's coming back, and Brian Perez is really moving out a little bit more.
Indeed he is. Jeff Torbeck is making a move on Alan Paris, and it looks like Jeff will get around Gregor.
Nice way of how he does that on Chris Daniel.
Yeah.
So how's it going in the front? Let's have a quick check-up over there. I do think that Jeffrey Decker and Leo Oktarov are just playing nice to each other so far.
Yep. Well, and Jeffrey Decker is probably benefiting from Leo Oktarov's draft, and Leo, for his part, isn't able to shake that Jeffrey through these technical back sections, and so it's looking fairly strategic on Jeffrey's part, and Leo has no choice except to just keep pushing ahead fast.
I am looking backwards to look what happened with Scott Bell, but he's a little bit running behind. Currently where is he? 15th position. I don't see much going wrong. Maybe he just doesn't have the speed right now. And we do see Chris Herrera going in for the pit on the first pit strategy.
Yeah. And you know, this could be pretty smart, because as we saw in the Skippy Formula 2 race, it does seem like the undercut effect at this track is pretty strong. It'll be interesting to see where Chris comes out after the others start to pit.
So are you saying that only Chris is watching actually the Formula 2 race?
That could be. Well, so that does leave Mike Bowers, Jeff Snavely, Michael McLeod, Pete Broughton, and Adam Wright in this tight pack of 5 cars. Gurkan Demir, I think, also really hunting them down there. But you know, that is a group of cars that really hasn't been able. No one's been able to.
What happened in the back? We do see Chris Herrera has an incident with Stephen Durr. Let's have a quick look. Look at that. They're coming out of the pit. And same thing what happened in Formula 2 is also happening over here. Chris Herrera puts his nose in there and moves over to Steve Durr.
Boy,
that's really bad to see that.
We talked about this, Pim, before the race, you know. And whose corner is it? You know, the car coming out of the pits, you know, has that inside line, and boy,
I'm just happy that I'm not an. I don't have to switch to look for that. I do see that Mike Bowers is overtaking Jeff Snavely, and they're now fighting for that third spot. A little bit the best of the rest. They can see Leo Oktarov, who just put in a 1:43.3. You do see that his fuel is getting more empty.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Mike Bowers, Jeff Snavely, any mistakes they make will immediately, I'm sure, be capitalized on by Michael McLeod and Pete Broughton and Adam Wright.
Yeah, don't forget Adam Wright over there. He is looking already a couple of times. I think together with Pete Broughton, he can make a move on Michael McLeod. But we're saying that already for 8 laps. And 8 laps, Michael McLeod can hold it together. And we do... Whoa, Jeff Snavely, man. He makes those corners really dangerous.
I see Jake Ashe is coming into the pits for his first refueling stop.
How's it going with Carl Dronke? Haven't seen him much yet. He's now currently in a fight with Gurken de Meer.
Well, Carl is just pouring on the pressure, and Gurken has been able to hold him off so far, but boy, that is a lot of pressure. And you remember when we were just rookies in the Sunday Night Skippy, Pim, how terrifying it was to see Carl Dronke just bearing down in your gearbox like that.
Yeah, because he knows where to overtake. He's a very quick driver. And here, look at this. He makes already some moves. Or at least he's making Gurken de Meer making moves. And while we talk about that, Leo Oktarov went into the pit together with Jeffrey Decker.
Yeah, Jeffrey Decker is Leo's shadow right now.
Yeah, only possibility is if they really do that in the end, last lap. But currently, they're not leaving each other.
Looks like Carl Dronke's getting a good run here on Gurken de Meer and will use the draft to get past him coming into the braking zone for turn 1.
Awesome, so he can really look forward to Adam Wright. It's only 1.4 seconds up there. But yeah, I do think that he wants to have his spot back. Look at that.
Yeah. Just to note that Scott Bell is in for his first refueling.
Yeah, I think the biggest fight over here is for third position, or actually now first position, Mike Bowers and Jeff Snavely, because they keep on running together. They lost the fight with currently with Leo and Jeffrey, and here they are all together.
I am seeing another battle, a pretty hard battle for P21. Currently held by Benjamin Harris, but being pressured by both Matt Shepka and Jason Berkheimer. And, they've been kind of going back and forth, just really a real knife fight for quite a few laps now.
Yeah, we do see Berkheimer getting a little bit closer to Zepka.
Indeed. And every time that happens, I think Matt has to take a little bit more of a defensive line, and that is helping Benjamin Harris maintain.
It does help Benjamin Harris because he's now moving along. I do see that Mike Bowers and who is that? Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod. I see Carl Dronke, Max Di Giacomo is going in for the pit. So only ones that are running currently are Jeff Snavely and Pete Broughton. And then right behind there is Adam Wright.
Yes. We are seeing Dan Pegowski in the pits as well. And that is it's showing 2 stops for Dan Pegowski, but I believe the first one may have been a repair issue. Chris Georgiandellis now in the pits.
Yeah, we see the top 11 didn't go for a pit, and then we see our first, and that's our Leo and Jeffrey. Look at that, they had already a pit stop, and they're already on the 12th position. So that's going to be exciting. I see Scott Bell came back to 26th position. So that will be a long, long way to go.
Yeah, what's going to be very interesting is to see how Michael McLeod, Pete Broughton, and Adam Wright come out after their pit stops. I'm also just trying to keep an eye on the gap from Adam Wright to Carl Dronke, and it does look like Carl is making up ground there, and so he might join that pack here before long.
Well, the first pack is now going in. We see all of the first five are in. It is a very busy second round over here. And Pete Broughton does a really smart move. Look at that. He's a little bit quicker, and he is already moving. This is going to be okay. I want to see this how they go out.
Yeah.
Could it be that Pete Broughton goes out?
Peter Nodwell, Chris Stewart, J.R. Hoops, Aaron Law, Brian Perez, Jeff Torbeck, all now in the pits.
All right, let's have a look, because I think Pete Broughton has done a really great move. Look at that. He is the first one to go out. Bye-bye. Yes. And he actually moved over to there, and you see that Izzy can also make a move to Mike Bowers. He is. Look at that, Mike Bowers. Oh, nice move, and Mike Bowers is taking that position back by just going a little bit wide over there.
Boy, but that was also just so dangerous again. But they've managed to keep it clean. So it's there's been only Pete Mulbrodden has sort of benefited there, but Mike Bowers is still in the lead of that pack, and then it's Jeff Snavely and Adam Wright behind them.
Yeah, this is exciting to see. It's even more exciting than for the first position. We know that Jeffrey is not attacking right now. He is waiting for even after the second pit stop, I guess. Currently they're running 6 seconds away from this group, or do I say that correctly? Actually, it is from Michael McLeod. Look at that. Michael McLeod is running on his own, running against those big boys. I can remember the time that Michael McLeod was in the Formula 2.
Yes.
But he has moved up quite a bit, and he's now on that third position, and I do have to say, quite steady.
Oh, he's driving great. And, I'm just now seeing, just looking back for Carl Dronke, I see Chris Herrera also with Carl Dronke, just chasing down that pack of Mike Bowers, Pete Mulbrodden, Jeff Snavely, and Adam Wright. And then don't look now, but Gurkan Demir also trying to catch in here. And so things are getting very, very spicy back there.
I do want to mention that this camera where we're now watching, that is actually the camera that I've called Brian Perez camera, because when he was making his vlog, he was sitting right over there. I think there are more drivers who actually went there. Jeffrey Decker was also at the stage. And while I say that, do you actually know that Jeffrey passed Leo? Look at this. We missed a whole fight over here.
How did we miss that?
Well, we didn't thought that was going to happen. And while I was saying that, Jeffrey Decker made the move over there in the S's and took a better turn over there. And of course, then it's not done yet, because we'll see Leo trying to make a move again. But that's not working.
One thing that's important here is in season standings, in the scoring for Skippy Formula 1, there are bonus points for leading lots of laps. And so you can't calculate the exact laps led bonus until the end of the race because it's indexed on the total number of laps that will run in the race. But there's definitely it's important for season standings to lead laps as much as you can.
Is it how many? Does it matter, or is it just one? Because I thought if Jeffrey Decker is doing that, then he's going to give up now his first position. Because he has that point.
You definitely get one bonus point for leading any laps at all. But let's imagine that this race goes 25 laps. You divide 25 by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So then you get an additional bonus point for every 5 laps that you've led. And if the race goes 26 laps, you round that up to 30, divide that by 5, and then you get a bonus point for every 6 laps that you've led.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's how drivers think, and that's why sometimes they crash. They're a little bit busy too calculating everything, but that's an interesting move that you're telling us.
Well, and I think it's a rule that's been instituted in this league because of the draft-heavy nature of the Skip Barber Formula 2000 cars, and what the league is trying to avoid is the tactic of just bidding all race behind someone's draft and not attempting to race them until the very last lap. And so this encourages racing at least at the front for the entire race.
Well, look it up here. We're now currently with Wright and Pieter Broughton, Jeff Snavely and Mike Bowers is leading this pack. And it looks like they're glued together. It's great to see them drive like that.
Oh boy, yeah, it is. It's crazy how close they are for this entire race. And I think Carl Dronke and Chris Herrera. Carl has managed to pass Chris Herrera, but they're working together, and I think they have a very good chance of catching up to those four.
Oh yeah, they can definitely get some speed over here. Well, we do see that. Jason Bice was coming out of the pit, but he was waiting very wisely, and Wright came up really quickly over there. Let's have a quick look at our. Are we going to call him a newcomer, or are we going to call him a veteran over here? We're talking about Jason Bice, currently running on that 30 position.
Yeah, and Jason had that unfortunate incident early in the race and had to tow. He's definitely running some very fast laps that belie his current position. In fact, he's run a 144.6. Which is.
I love that car. I love that guy, and I love the car that he has. Great livery that he made. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go for Pieter Broughton and his crew, because I see that Jeff Snavely is really trying to see if he can make a move on Pieter Broughton.
Yeah, Jeff is pouring on the pressure. But if there's one driver who I think would be hard to pressure into a mistake, it would be Pieter Broughton.
Yeah, well, I say that we do see here for position number 26 that Andrew Cole is past Jake Ashley. It was a really nice move. All right, is Pieter Broughton going to make the move? Pieter Broughton, come on. Yes, he is going to make the move on Bowers. Look at that. Great move inside. Oh, he doesn't even give the chance to run outside over there.
Yeah, that's textbook. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it going into turn one.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. And now Jeff Snavely is also looking to make a pass for Mike Bowers. Is Pieter Broughton now going to run away? Is that what his tactic is all about?
It'll be very interesting to see what happens here. And I'm also just looking back at Scott Bell. Scott Bell in running P15 being followed pretty tightly by Jer Hoos, but he himself is just hounding Chris Stewart in front of them.
Yeah, it looks like Scott Bell really has made the beginning had some issues, but is back on track. He's really making some pace over here.
It's good. Chris Stewart's running a strong race, running right now P14.
Yeah, and then in front of that, Chris Daniel, winner of Formula 2, but is now on the 13th position. And then there's a big gap with Max Di Giacomo.
Yes, Max Di Giacomo. Looking back also at P18, Jeff Torbeck, Brian Perez, they continue to battle each other. Alan Paris, that trio. They really, haven't been able to shake each other at all either for really the entire race.
I do have to say I like that paint from Brian Perez. I'm not sure if you ever go to his stream. It's on the car, the Fly by Bryce 9, I think it is. And also has everything in those same colors. Love that paint.
Pim, I think we've screwed up again. Up at front, Leo Oftrov is now ahead of Jeffrey Decker.
How did they do that? How did they do that? Let's have a quick look where that exactly happened. That was again on that long straight, on that first corner. And I do think that Jeffrey Decker thought, yeah, I have my 5 laps, got my bonus points. Leo, you can join right now.
Boy, it's going to get very strategic for those two.
Yeah, and then Michael McLeod, all the time he's by himself. Not how he expects normally how to run the race. Normally he's a little bit waiting in the back. But he can't do that right now, because if he waits a little bit longer, we see Pete Broughton, Mike Bowers and Jeff Snavely coming in there. And Adam Wright, look at that.
And it looks like that group of four, they have managed to extend their gap back to Chris Herrera a bit. And I'm not too sure what happened to Carl Dronke, because Chris Herrera is now followed by Peter Nodwell.
Chris Herrera went into the pit right now, so maybe that's the case over there. And look at this, we do see a really big fight over here with Scott Bell and Chris Stewart. Look at that, they're fighting for positions. And what happened with Carl Dronke? See Carl Dronke dropping some positions. Oh, he's going into the pit.
Yeah.
Not bad news for them. Let's go back to that fight. Look at that, Scott Bell is looking. Is he going to make that move?
He's sticking his nose in there, but it looks like he's going to back out.
Yeah, I think that is smart to do that. But that's a great move over here. Look at that, how close he is. Oh, you're nervous when you're driving over here.
These S's are so much fun to drive, but it's also a little bit of white knuckle every time around through here.
And this is so difficult. You don't see anything of that corner. You really have to know the track that well, know your breaker markers. But they're both running quite fast and now really catching up to Chris Daniel. Because that's another thing. They don't have to fight. If they can catch up with the next person, they're doing quite nicely.
That's right.
And I see Leo Taroff and Jeffrey Decker are going into the pit. And Michael McLeod is actually taking his first lap over here. Look at that. Is now in first position. And is still... He's running away a little bit from Pete Broughton. Or am I wrong in that? 2.6 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like is Mike Bowers making a move on Pete? Yes, in fact, Mike Bowers breaking into turn one.
Oh no, Pete Broughton is immediately coming back. Look at that. Is he going to go side by side? No, he's not. But he is trying. He's looking there. He's making Mike very nervous.
As they come around here past turn 5, this turn 6 is pretty slick right there. As they slide around, but it looks like Mike Bowers has held it together. The next big opportunity is right here as they brake hard on this downhill all the way down to first gear into turn 10. It looks to me like this group of 4 is slowly making up ground to Mike McLeod. And so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's 2.7 seconds right now. But Michael McLeod is going to make that, if he's not going into the pit, then that means he will get a faster one lead lap as well.
Yeah.
You really see that guy improve a lot every single race.
Absolutely, and looks like they are all staying. Oh, Michael McLeod is coming into the pits.
Yeah, he's not the only one. Yeah, exactly. We see quite a bit of drivers now going into the pit.
Yep.
Or actually, not that bad. It's only Michael McLeod and Mike Bowers. Pete Broughton is going a little bit longer, and he gets a little bit of problems now with Jeff Snavely. Look at that. Jeff Snavely take an inside move over there on Pete Broughton.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Adam Wright, there's not much coming from him. He is waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm definitely going to see him at the end of this race.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's just biding his time. Meanwhile, Brian Perez, Max DiGiacomo, Alan Paris are all in the pits.
And how's that fight going with Chris Stewart? I think he dropped Jero Hoops a little bit. And we see in front of him Jeffrey Decker and Leo Oktarov. And do I see a big difference over here? Look at that. Jeffrey Decker has lost Leo Oktarov.
Indeed.
I think we can only say one thing, and that is run, Leo, run, because he is really making a move right now. This looks a lot like our last race, where after the second pit stop, Leo made an extra move and is now really loose.
Yeah, boy, it's almost a 2.5 second lead now that Leo has over Jeffrey Decker.
He is playing with this field currently. Leo Oktarov, there is no measure to this guy. While we say that, Peter Broughton is into the pit, so he will lose quite some spots right now.
I wonder if Jeffrey Decker had a slowdown penalty from an off-track. That might explain how this gap is formed. But now it's up to Leo to maintain that. And Leo will be coming up on Chris Georgiandelis, who's a back marker, although a pretty fast one. So
Yeah.
it probably won't have too much of an impact on this race for the lead. But
So let's have a quick look. We do see the timings on the pit, and we see Leo Oktarov for 12.9 seconds and Jeffrey Decker on 4.8. So I think that's just the case where we see those big differences. And then we see overall pit times around the 46 seconds. So I think Leo, where he used to lose it over the pit stops, he actually improved that much that he's now gaining on those moments.
well, and we noticed this the last couple of races, Pim. Leo's pit stops have improved markedly, and yeah, I think you're right. It's making a big difference in the race outcomes.
Yeah, and here we see Jeff Snavely going in on that first position together with Adam Wright, who is right behind him over there. And Adam is always so good in those pit entries. Comes in really hard and can really make that extra move over there. We see Peter Notwell also in that fourth position coming in, and Gurkan Demir in front of them. And there you see already Leo Oktarov. Look at that, is already coming past. And look at this, what is Jeffrey Decker doing? Jeffrey Decker
he's trying to get a little draft launch there.
Was that Jason Bice?
I believe that was Chris Georgiandelis, who's just trying to stay out of the way on our blue floor. Steve Dewar, and was doing a good job, and that was just Jeffrey Decker squeezing every last ounce of draft out of that.
Yeah, and currently it's 2.5 seconds, so he needs to do this some more times to actually move along. But do you notice that Adam Wright also passed Jeff Snavely in the pit?
Yeah, and so that's really very impressive. And both Jeff Snavely and Adam Wright are past Pete Broughton.
Oh man, you can read my mind. I was thinking the same thing, and then Mike Bowers is right behind there as well. And Scott Bell back on that 15th position. So
these pit stops have completely reshuffled this group.
Yeah, it's very funny to see that some people actually made up quite some spots, and some people didn't. But currently, I think our biggest fight is here for that third position with Adam Wright and Jeff Snavely.
What I want to know,
McLeod, look at this, Michael McLeod, 5.2.
What happened to Michael McLeod now sitting in P7? Was that was there a pit stop issue, or?
Well, let's have a quick look. He went really quick into the pit, so maybe it was right over there. Don't think there was much going wrong. And Michael was crashed over there. While we're looking at this replay, we do see that Michael made a mistake over there. Oh, he comes out. Oh, he was right behind them. He was right behind Adam and Jeff Snavely. Nice save, by the way. His car is not damaged, but that was what happened with him.
That was very close, but yeah, I think he did well to keep the position that he has. But right now, I'm just watching it. He's being seriously pressured by Chris Herrera going into the S's. In fact, they're too wide in the S's. Oh, and Chris has just backed out before hitting sausage curb.
Yeah, and Gurken de Meer is right behind there. He's also looking. I do see that Chris Herrera has a little bit of issues on blimping, so that doesn't make it easy for Gurken de Meer.
Yeah.
But look at this. This is a nice battle for position 7, but we all know that all of these drivers are faster. Maybe they can work together and catch up on Mike Bowers.
Meanwhile, at the front, Leo is maintaining, in fact, slowly extending his gap over Jeffrey Decker, now at 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, run Leo, run is really working for him. This strategy that he used earlier is now the same thing, and Jeffrey Decker can't do much about it. I do see that Jeff Snavely is trying to look on the inside of Adam Wright. And Pete Broughton is there as well, so this could be interesting. They all have drafts from each other.
Looks like Jeff Snavely got a great run out of turn 17, so he should get a good go up the hill here coming into turn 1, and indeed he does. And he'll easily come around Adam Wright for the entry to turn 1.
Yeah, that's a great move.
Yeah.
Michael McLeod has lost position over Chris Herrera.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the same maneuver breaking into turn 1. So my calculations say 5 minutes left in the race. So next time around the start-finish line, I think they should have 3 laps to go. And so,
look at this here. We have Aaron Lawitz fighting with Scott Bell and Carl Dronke on that 15th position. Did you remember what happened with Carl?
No. In fact, that's, we suddenly saw that he was not up there with, with Chris Herrera and company. And so, but Carl is just putting all sorts of pressure. Here, so
yeah, and a little bit further up there is Chris Stewart fighting with Chris Daniel, and they're also really far.
Looks like Carl did manage to pass Aaron Law, facilitated by Scott Bell.
Everything goes quite quick on the moment.
Yeah, there's no lack of of action. So now let's see, back in the front straight, looks like Adam Wright's getting a good run on Jeff Snavely coming into the turn 1. But it looks
People Broughton is looking over there.
Yep.
And then you have to worry, but currently he's holding his car in that last position, following Adam Wright really closely.
And this is one of those situations where you might not want to make that move until the last lap, if you have a choice. Just given the way the draft is working. Meanwhile, Leo Ovtrup is just running serenely in the lead. And now with a more than 3-second gap on Jeffrey Decker. And then Jeffrey Decker with quite a long gap, maybe 10-second gap to Jeff Snavely, Adam Wright, Pete Broughton, and Mike Bowers, who are all battling for P3.
Yeah, Jeff Snavely is leading that pack on the 3rd position. I think that's where the most excitement is coming from. And while I say that, I look at the time, we only have 3 minutes left.
Yeah. So this time around, let's see, Leo Ovtrup is just passing start-finish line, so that means that this will mean 2 laps to go in the race.
Yeah, and is it my eye, or is it that Adam Wright is losing a little bit of touch with Jeff Snavely on the moment?
No, I think so.
All right, okay. Let's drive along with Pete Broughton. Is he going to make the move over here? He also knows it's nearly time. He needs to make that move, but he can't make it. He's too far away. But he has a lot
really
of
hard.
better line. Look at that. He is coming a lot closer suddenly over there. I do want to mention for the people who are Benjamin Harris fans, he crashed in the back. So bad news for him a little bit further on that 21st position.
Pim, I'm looking at this battle for P7. Chris Herrera was just being hounded by Michael McLeod, but Michael went wide through the S's. I don't know if he damaged his car. He might have damaged his axle on one of the sausage.
No. He went completely straight, but that was quite dangerous. Look at that. Gurken de Meer could nearly avoid him over there. I want to see that one back from Gurken de Meer's perspective. Look at it. He's driving over there, following Chris Herrera.
Yeah. Boy, those S's, if you hit them just right, you can do most of it full throttle, but you have to be so precise. Now, looking, Leo Ovtcharov is taking the white flag to the last lap.
And that's quite a distance that he has now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jeff Snavely is hanging on to P3.
Oh, Mike Bowers. Mike Bowers has to go into the pit. Didn't fuel enough. Yeah. That means that Chris Herrera, Gurken de Meer, they can all win some positions over here. That's always really badly. But then the fight for position number three. Jeff Snavely, Adam Wright, and Pete Broughton. Who's going to win that?
Well, and I think Adam Wright would have loved to make the pass. They're going to turn 1, but that didn't happen, so he's chasing him through the S's now. They'll come around turn 6, and the next best opportunity for Adam Wright will be coming here as they brake hard on this downhill straight into turn 10. Jeff Snavely holds position well.
Yeah, we see that Leo Ovtcharov going into the last corners with a 3.8 second lead. Amazing job. Crushed the field one more time. Is going to make the championship 11.
He just went wide, and Adam Wright and Pete Broughton just went past. And it almost looked like Jeff Snavely facilitated that pass for some reason, and I'm not sure what the story is there.
All right, I want to go back to Leo Ovtcharov because he is coming over the finish line over here. Done this before, is now 4.2 seconds from Jeffrey Decker, who will take that second position quite nicely. Although we do see in the back Adam Cole crashed, but Adam Wright didn't crash, comes up here on that third position. Is Jeff Snavely making the move on Pete Broughton? Can he hold that? Pete Broughton can hold that. And then we see Gurken de Meer fighting with Chris Herrera, but they're also passing over here. Peter not well at Max. No, Max is not going to make that over there. Chris Daniel eventually on the 11th position. Look at that, and then we see cars that do have some damage. We see, is that JR Hoops? Yeah, JR Hoops. We have Chris Daniel, Carl Dronke, Alan La. On the 15th position, Scott Bell.
Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod.
Yeah, we're still not done. Here we see Benjamin Harris crashed a couple of times, but he is able to make it now over the line. Behind him is Jason Berkheimer, comes over the line. Rusty Pontenberg. I think that's Jake Ashe. And then Andrew Kroll as last moment. All right, Peter.
What a race. What a race.
It's funny. It's two different races. It's the first time that we've seen that. Normally, Formula 2 is really showing us what it can be, but now it was quite a different race.
Yeah. Well, it was a great battle, really almost the entire race between Leo Ovtcharov and Jeffrey Decker. But as you pointed out, Leo had a better second pit stop, and that really made all the difference. So great win for Leo, then followed by Jeffrey Decker. Adam Wright, we'll have to get the story on what happened there on that last lap. But Adam Wright and Pete Broughton getting past Jeff Snavely. And so they finished P3, 4, and 5. And then Chris Herrera, Gurkan Demir, Peter Nodwell, Max DiGiacomo, Chris Stewart rounds out your top 10.
My rookie mistake that I thought that Chris Stewart was new. He's like one of the old guys. So him back on the 10th position is exactly where he belongs. But what do you think about Chris Daniel on the 11th position? Awesome job. I'm not sure. Where would you be happier? 11th position or the first in Formula 2?
Well, I think it's a good night for Chris Daniel either way, and I don't know how he does it, just the endurance alone. But Pim, we have our race winner, Leo Ovtcharov, in the broadcast booth.
All right. Hello. Good day, Leo. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, guys. How are you?
We're doing very well. We saw you in the second part where after the second pit stop, I think you had a different tactic. It was bye-bye everybody and run Leo run, because you were going fast. Was that a tactical move, or how did you saw that?
No, I mean, I was just trying to, since I was up front with Jeffrey, I was just trying to be as clean as possible, which is very difficult on this track, and make the pit stop as clean as I can too. So that definitely helped as well.
Well, Leo, this is something that we've noticed from the broadcast booth, that if there was one weakness amongst the front runners in Skippy Formula 1 that you had, it was your pit stops. But last 2-3 races, you've been super fast, and today you are really running the fastest pit stops. Is that something you've been practicing and working on?
Yes, definitely. I had to work on it because these long pit lanes they were killing me using the pit limiter, so I was kind of forced to practice using without the limiter, and I think it helped.
Wow. Well, it really made all the difference, especially in that second pit stop. It gave you the gap on Jeffrey Decker that made it possible for you to break his draft.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you, Pete, for forcing me to work on my pit stops. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Pim.
Yeah, no, I was trying to make a story to have a look what Jeffrey Decker thought of this race. You were all the time behind Leo, and then at one point, when I didn't expect it, you were actually starting to fight with him. What happened for you in the race?
Yeah, it was good overall. Things kind of went to plan. I knew Leo probably had a couple of tenths on me every lap, so it was all just about trying to hang on in the draft, which is not an easy task. He's stupid quick, so I just tried to figure out a way just to stay calm and stay patient back there. And luckily, it all went to plan. I think in T1, he lost the rear maybe a little bit, which is very rare for Leo to make any sort of mistake. So I decided maybe it was time to try to lead a lap or two, which worked out. I think I got like 2 or 3 in. But yeah, that's just the second pit stop. I was so close to him coming to the pits that I thought, I should try to stay close just to be as close as possible coming out. And then I just overshot my box, a little bit of disturbed sight lines, and I just missed it by like a foot, unfortunately. So once Leo's away and out of draft, there's no catching him back up without a big mistake, and I think those are very, very rare. So I was pretty happy to be just by myself in P2 without any challengers. So at least that was good.
Well, it was definitely the case that Leo and Jeffrey, that the two of you were the class of the field, and you very quickly pulled out a gap. And it's interesting to hear what happened to your second pit stop, because I think that did decide the race. Jeffrey, you looked like you had pace with Leo, and so we were really not going to be able to predict how you guys were going to come out, especially just given how draft heavy that front straight is.
Yeah. I think if I could have stayed with him, I probably would have thrown in a look or two at T1, but I don't really think there were any other places I could have possibly had to go. So it would have been a tough one. I think you can get pretty defensive in turn 1 and hold the position pretty well, I think. And then just entering the S's side by side is like it's a test of what's in the pants, I guess. So it's if it would have come down to that, it would have been interesting. But those sausages are scary. So
I think you did a great move by just following Leo because you guys really made a lot of distance on the other drivers. And to be honest, I loved it when you started to attack him. A little bit different than last race where everybody was attacking everybody and you couldn't get away. So I think different tactics, and this one worked quite well. Second position, so great job.
Well, and Leo and Jeffrey, there must have been times when either of you were thinking about trying to make an undercut. You were both shadowing each other in both pit stops, but did it ever enter either of your minds, Leo to try to break Jeffrey's draft by pitting early, or Jeffrey to try to undercut? Did that ever enter into your thinking?
No, not one bit actually. Not this time. I wanted to take him with me as far as we could go, and if he wanted to come into the pits with me, I was more than happy to go with him. Yeah,
for me, I considered it on the first stop, just not knowing what the traffic situation would be. I considered staying out, maybe an extra lap. But the way the pit entry is here, you're still, as the leader, going to get the lap led going into the pits. So it really didn't make sense to kind of gamble it. The undercut might have worked, but I think Leo came in maybe like on the first lap. We could come in on that second stop. So there was no opportunity also to do it. And Leo had like 3-4 tenths if we both put a lap together on me. So I think it was the better call to try to pit with him and stay on that strategy. And just overshooting the box killed it. But that's just how it goes, man. You got to be absolutely perfect if you're trying to beat Leo.
Well, it was sure was fun. One thing I guess Pim and I have to admit to the two of you is I think, Pim, we missed on the broadcast all of the passes between these two.
No. We didn't miss them. Of course we didn't miss them. Of course we saw them in the replay. But you guys every time did it in a movement where we were looking at somebody else. But we did see them all. Definitely watch them back. So no worry about that, Peter.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys definitely put on a show.
Yeah, no, it was good fun, and Leo definitely deserved it. He was definitely the fastest driver on track. So mega laps from him. Congrats, man.
Thank you, sir, and congrats as well.
Yeah,
Thanks,
guys,
buddy.
you were really separated from the rest of the pack. Did an awesome job. Do have to say Adam Wright on that third position. Also great job to finish on the podium. I would like to thank everybody in the audience. It was great to do this this Sunday. We had a long weekend, and now it's back to work for a lot of us. So I had an awesome race. Peter, you have any last words that you want to do a shout out?
Well, I'm just so impressed. If you remember the way the race started, I think we were both predicting there was going to be some mayhem somewhere during these first two laps. And the whole field was just clean on cold tires, over 30 skippies. It was pretty incredible to watch.
Yeah, the first lap was clean. Let's not talk about the rest. Jeffrey, think you guys are going to have an amazing job for being a steward. Good luck with that one. But we had an enormous fun to just broadcast it for an hour, but it's going to be a lot more stewarding time. So good luck with that. I want to thank everybody. Leo, any last words for your perspective?
No, I had a great time. I had a great time racing with Jeffrey. Everything was clean. Everything was done well. It was a fun night, and I do want to say shout out to the Shake and Bake crew, Steve, JR, Barry. Hope you liked the broadcast. George and Joshua.
Awesome. Great. Jeffrey, you have any last people? I know we always have to thank your wife for
Oh, yeah.
having this time. So I'm gonna take that one away from you. Any other shout outs that you have?
Yeah, just you guys keeping the broadcast going, and to Leo for towing me out of out of the draft for the guys behind and giving me this P2 essentially.
Yeah, Jeffrey, but we do expect more from you in that last race. Maybe we have to make some extra adjustments for Leo and see if we can you can beat him in that last one. But you gave him a hell of a fight.
Yeah. Brandside should be there should be, I think, some more passing opportunities there. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Could be an interesting one.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun track.
Great. Well, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great Sunday or even a great week. And we will see each other in our next broadcasting.